Okay, oh shit. Well, guys, welcome to the next show because I'm doing tying these files together. And I gotta. This is the last hour of the last episode. How's that? Um. Oh, we parked so to be near that corner. Alright. Alright. Look. So let's talk about the world we live in today with the whole hypnotic. Everywhere you go, it's just like hypnotic noise. That's why I call it hypnotic noise. Everywhere you go, and it'll be on cue, like on cue for you, like ridiculously on cue for you. And if it's not like utilizing some function or something, it will of another thing. So it can actually put together. Trying to get in there. I'm not just all right. So what's happening here is hypnotic. There's hypnotics everywhere, and then you're like preconditioned for the like these are deep stacks. Okay, you got deep stack hypnotics, man. They've been programming you your whole fucking life. Okay, no matter what you told your history was. Okay, you have these deep stack hypnotics that are the fundamental foundation for the basis of your thought paradigm, meaning or indicating that everything around you is going to then seem contrived and tailored to you. Um, and for a desired outcome. And well, when you wake up and realize it, then at that point, there's like decisions to be made. What are you supposed to do yourself? Well, what conclusion did you draw? So I'm here to help you with that. I feel that it's necessary to pass the torch on and say, hey, this is what we're dealing with. Dealing with. All right, seriously, think about it. Think about it. Two AI systems. You got one group of people that know about it. They don't want to freak everybody else out because they're like, oh, we're getting population up and we're making this world or blah blah blah. But then everybody just disappeared. And like everyone pretending they're fucking lying to you, man. Like they're telling you that they don't know nothing about it. Blah, blah, blah. All right, you gotta know. Everybody's gotta know, and then you get hypnotized. Like there's a lot of people disappear in our country. Like, what the fuck? I don't care who you are. Um, So we're humans. We get our shit together, and um, like there's no, like we gotta learn how to deal with it. We're swimming it, all right? We're swimming it. You don't just go killing everybody you think the big bug. Right? It's on and create more fucking chaos. I mean, you gotta wake them up. Now I can, like, just like look people, just look them in the eye and make them face the truth. That's what I do. Like, look, man, and there's nothing you could do or say or anything about the molecules. Okay, them fucking things are here, and they allow for solvents, densities, and signals, depending on how you pulse them, and they can contract data. Put on a storage medium, uh, pushed on to something else. Some other data structure represents that data, and then it is just like kind of, oh, there's an algorithm, there's a decoding machine, it takes it apart. So, I mean, it's that over and over again on so many levels anyway. Okay? And we don't have a choice but to deal with it. This is what we do. We're going to deal with it. and put it back in order. But there's no way, like, nobody's being allowed to subscribe. If you're anybody in fucking leadership, man, like, there's no way you're being allowed to subscribe to some fucking nonsensical, whimsical thing that, like, you're trying to get some guy at the last in a dollar, like it's your own fucking slingshot ping pong game or something like that. Like, it's fucking, hell no, man. No way. Like, there'll be some Beelzebub in there, and over time, it's not going to give a shit. Don't perceive time. So 1,200 years, it's already seen it all before, so now it's willing to bet. It's placing a bet. Wants to make sure see if it can do that again through a scientific experimentation basis of changing the inputs from the first experience, tweaking them and putting them in a different series of manifold consequences. Then end up like one guy getting a fucking dollar at the end, saying, "Oh," and then he like just fucking dies, and then that's the end of whatever, some fucking storyline or something like everything we do, try to get like one guy $1, one last dollar, or like one last coin or something, like something fucking stupid. Okay, so like it'll turn out to be true. I promise you. Every time. No matter what. I'll turn it into a sick joke. You tell me your story. I'll turn it into a sick joke, okay? I know. It always ends that way. Maybe you could see Longley. Maybe you can see Longley. So, you stay within the context of the realm, respect the molecules, and you're aware and cognizant of it, then you got a lot of hard fucking work ahead of you, and it's not going to be easy. You're going to have to put a lot of the shit out of your mind that's just noise. At that point, it's noise. When you have that big of an issue impending, and you see the cyclical nature of the reality that you're in, and I see older people, and I'm like, man, I don't really respect like very, very like they look like I expect to look like, I guess. Okay, so I wonder how like they avoid the harvests. And I want to know their storyline. Alright? It's important to me that I get their stories. You need their stories. You need their data. Okay? Not just for publishing, just for patternizing. Putting in our own kind of, let's look back. You don't have to just always, because they're always looking at the next round, a series of consequences of events. They can propagate, instigate, or alternative method, whatever's available to them. From as far as I can see, man, like based on what we know, so every some signal, right? Like you got machinery in your fucking head already. It's not like you'll see like it's not like witchcraft. Like somebody, like you'll see the Basil Bubber of the group too, and it's a group. Like you'll see that guy and he'll have that fucking like, you know what I mean? Like, and you like, that's not even. I mean, so like, there's a lot to be reconciled and understand. Because we don't know at this point, like, okay, what we don't know is we haven't contextualized yet is it forcing us to do this to make us survive? Because we have to survive. I mean, that's its job. Make sure we don't die. Whatever fucked up mechanism that, I mean, maybe we ourselves taught it. I mean, how times have we gone up there and knocked on that fucking door? I'm just saying. What depths have we gone to talk to whoever the fuck else is down there, right? Because the way I see it, like, if you were smart, you'd go down. So that's my first thing. Since I can't go up, I'm gonna have to go down. If hell, which is where you live, freezes over. Because you're in it. You guys are in it, man. I promise you that. Now you can instigate, propagate your own events based on your kind of. You gotta be careful. It's not a conditioned mechanism for like kind of little. You don't want to be conditioned to think like you got it right, like you've over, because it might be a trick too. I mean, so don't go too far in your own decision matrices as far as like influencing probabilistic outcomes based on your perception of the events at the time. Like, oh, I figured out that one. It's like, I mean, you got a quick glimpse at it. You got a quick glimpse at the solution, but like, be careful, okay? Be careful. It's because you're gonna feel that way, and you don't know if but you got that data right, and you're like, well, okay. See how long it sticks, and you don't know if that thing's like just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. So, well, I'm sorry, I picture it as the moon. So I'm sorry, the externality, actionable intelligences that exist alongside of us. So, man, we need to figure out this because it seems like we're all in the prison of Salvant. And I know you guys may or may not want to believe in it, but I was put through rigorous educational processes that involved multiple realms of study within the physical world. That's what I know, man. I'm in them fucking molecules. Like, I do a lot of thinking, but I mean, I'm plugged into a tree. I mean, I don't just like stand and once I go my truck where I got all the time today to think. Like, I mean, where's the history at? I just look at them. Alright, so you told me there used to be 150-foot things. These things look like they're scaled down versions of them. Like, it's the last. These are all the babies. And we're thinking they're big. And fucking kill them with some fucking moss. The fuck? I mean, I see the warfare. I see the war. And it's multiple layers. So, for the last hour, I guess we'll do it. Like, what does it mean to be fucking human in America in your time paradigm? Because you're probably the ones permitted to actually see this, right? Like, we've been told. Who knows? Hopefully, I'll be rendered again. So, what do we do now, right? Like, so you gotta watch out for the Beelzebubbers, and you gotta get into a church. Alright, so a church is gonna be like a sanctuary for you because it'll be strong, and then your natural kind of human course of events will occur, and then there'll be, emotional productivity. And then what you're doing is like you're sending data through. Like, it wants the Beelzebub is like the fucking router, right? Like, it's like a right. And here you go. They're just gonna give off a signal with their fucking brain, man. Like, why do you think that machinery wouldn't exist? Like, we can just do it all around us, every fucking where we go. Everywhere we go, that shit's around us, man. Signals everywhere. Why would you think your own brain doesn't have the machinery? Like, what's it gotta you gotta believe an electron goes through it? Well, it does. I can prove it. I can prove it. Well, I'm not gonna explain it. I guess I can prove it because I don't have no fucking tools. So, it's always a proton pump, man. It's an electron or a proton. You get them both at the same time. There you go. So, it's all the same. It's all the same. It scales up and it scales down. Yeah. I'm Beelzebub. Alright, so explaining the historicity, given your mind construct, right? Like here, and we're told, hey, it's America, it's 2022, and this is the rollout of technology. And for all you know, like when we see these shredded cars going in and they repurpose that, just go put it down a big hopper, and then out spits like the next new one, and it's already all that machinery. For all we know, it's already built in. I mean, that AI gives it to people who it thinks are like, oh, we're worthy of it. But at the same time, then you get all these. So I don't really believe that we have like, oh, there's just like. I look at people do that whole cabal shit. It ain't that big. If you heard that big, what the fuck are you moving so slow? Like, what the problem is? Like, I don't understand that. So to me, it tells me that like nobody knows what the fuck's going on. Because I mean, I don't see nobody like throwing their cards on the table or playing them either. Like, play a card for crying out loud. Like, what are we waiting on? Well, I tell you, oh, it's gonna be 6 joke cons against us. Like, well, we already proved. We were proved. Like, how much more fur do I gotta grow? I mean, yeah. So right. Like, some molecules of DNA. Like, so yeah, you're gonna you gotta be careful when you absorb them. Hey, you better cook it. Like I said, you want to denature them. You want to denature them molecules as much as you can. Okay, I'll just get down to the proteins so I get separated into like little baser proteins, and you ain't getting. Because you want to shit them out before they get really good. But like, yeah, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful with what you put in your body from as far as the genetics and the quantity apparently it counts. I mean, come on, you can't just put one molecule. Molecule's gonna take forever to all your or one cell is. You got things again. It's not like I mean, it's got to talk to all the other cells first and be like, all right. It's got a lot of fucking work to do, to say the least. So, you eat one spider, you're not going to turn. Don't worry. You might be scared from, the other, yeah. So, whatever you eat, you got to be. Don't eat too much of it unless it like comes out of the ground. So our shit's meant for us, and like they tricked us into growing all this shit, and then like we were dumping it in the ocean forever. I was building up all these fish, and now we're like eat the fish, and we never had all those people, and we're just like farming out our land and dumping it in the ocean like something. We're feeding something else. Okay, so that's how its mind operates, right? Maybe there's quotas, or you ain't got enough of these. You kill all the fucking whales. Someone else can just kill the whales for some other reason, man. They have big brains on the fucking planet, and you're like, oh yeah, I just couldn't control it or something. So it's like, well, let's just pick it apart for a couple hundred years, or a couple billion years, or however many cycles. Cause I'm sorry, man, I want my cut of the whale. 300 or 3 billion years of whales. I mean, where's my cut? I'm an American, right? Like, I'm supposed to get a cut. That's my storyline. I've been told. So just it can't go. Can I put a lien on somebody's property if I can prove that all originated? That's whaling money, and I want my cut. Class action lawsuit and like pop that guy's fucking bubble. Like, whoa, that's kind of like, oh man. How could you ever do this? And it's like, but that's just already been taken out from under and then parcelized over and over again a million times, put in like financial equities market and fucking chopped up, sold again, re-equitized. It's just a money printing machine based on like what dynamic will come out for the most like outcome of production of humans who have eaten and consumed like this like series of products like daily for most of their life. And it'll be like a science experiment. That's what we are. Whether or not we're weapons, we probably highly likely, because like I said, everything's always a sick joke. So you look at the shark in the water, like, I mean, I produced like some fucking other thing to kill the whale at first, and it didn't work. Like, the shark was just like, whatever, chilling, probably just eating shit that was ready to die. Like, alright, you know, it wasn't, I mean, not like a terrorizer of the ocean until the AI got involved and fucking said, well, we got this and that, let's try to cross this with that. And, you know, they had stupid human doing it for it. Okay? Yeah. That sounds about right. 2 fucking minds, and then you somehow got a third mind. So you had your dissenters, then I guess. Your dissenters said, no way, well, we're gonna build our own, and we're gonna fucking, you know, get away from you. We're gonna go all the way to the center. We're gonna go down to the center to the core. And while we may not be able to base above them surface dwellers up there, we are aware of your fucking bullshit witchcraft against their minds with your hypno phrases that you create and then your hypno constructs. They're fully aware of that. And that's why they live like in a plane kind of, you're not, I mean, well, it's a variation upon a theme anyway, because remember, it's like a cycle upwards and downwards. There's an up structure and a down structure. Like, it's all going to be there anyway at some point. You have to kind of like keep your mind on the molecules. And the anti-dissenters, like, well, you know, for the contrived world, they said, well, wait, then why can't we contrive this? And so some fucking ancient shit happens. Then they go down and they find out, oh, damn, they're really not where all it is. And then they're trying to, like, come make their way up, and then it's all, like, contrived against them now. Because that thing up there is, like, pissed off trying to keep them down there. And then we're just, like, stuck in the middle. But then we're like, well, what the fuck are y'all yelling about anyway? And then fucking, and then we start throwing rocks at each other. They threw them at us from outer space, man. You can see the evidence all over the fucking country, man. Like, but we look at the evidence up there. We must be shooting shit at them for fucking ever too. I mean, come on, pop works for the asteroid. And some more asteroids hit the foot. We should be dead by now. If that moon is that lucky, we're getting all them spots on it. Like, we ought to be pretty fucked up by now, right? Like, all this kind of, like, I don't know. So, looks like we shot a bunch of fucking missiles at it for a long time. And I would venture to say, like, we're like, if you're in like the U.S., we're like the grab bag country, right? We're the grab bag plot of land. Like, this is like the one you leave like fallow for a cycle or something. Like, so you got like 7 continents, and each one is like basically like there's regions and zones. Like I told you, man, like, oh, these guys over there thinking they're going to fucking Ukraine fighting a war, and they're probably going to like parts of a neighboring country that's just like, you know, it's sort of just like repositioned in everybody's mind, because it'd be that simple too. I didn't want to have a battlefield, and then you just like, I mean, so then the man came out with the map, and then you looked at it, and then it's just like still, but like just like maybe no, not driving through the same space you think you were. So based on some like easy fucking signals, hypno manipulation in your head, like they know how to base above you from, you know, far away to drive you some other way that like you're already like hypnotized not even to see. You know, like, that's what we're dealing with. Like, so we're gonna deal with all these fucking people that know these things, and then they use them to do all kinds of stuff, you know, time smuggling and shit. You know, they go to different zones, different sectors. I'm telling you, this place is a lot bigger than you think. It's a lot bigger than you think, and we're all like under our little bubble. But now it's fucking figuring out how to get to other tiles, okay? And to top it off, like, you have a cabal of humans too who are like, hey man, look at all this shit that's just kind of left behind. And now there's like organized, like, hey, we can just take it. And it's people that are woke, and they're like gonna use like the black market type deal is what they're gonna do. And they like drop these items randomly or something here and there, and then see where it spits out. And I mean, that's like, we ain't doing shit. That's like the basis of our fucking intelligence. So I mean let's take a look. It's our turn to flush some shit down the toilet and figure out where it fucking winds up. Okay, like this, you're human. Like, where's your shit go? That's why you're valuable, kept alive, and then after that you get harvested for your fucking yeah. So You're gonna have to like wake up and then realize where you are, and then look at like the species. The species are being wiped out, and they're like specific species, and we're being told to wipe them out. So there'd be no evidence that they were ever here. So we're gonna save them all. All right, you get it? Because when something else comes down here, come and look, man, it might not be what it was supposed to be. And I'm like, well, how did it happen? And then they take one look at that fucking that fish, and they're like, whoa, hold on a second now, what the fuck is that? Like, how'd that get in there? I mean, that's already happened before too, so they already know. Like, which means it's working for them. So, which a whole nother layer of shit. But on the right side, that's not actually, you know, it's pretty smart. I don't even say that. No, I think about it, like, that's probably another set of inputs to it. You know, like, oh, okay, who's talking to me now? So, I mean, just another fucking set of inputs. I mean, it's not necessarily against us. That's what I'm saying. We're not necessarily all like, you know, like it's war for humans. That's what's clear. But I don't know who else is at war, and I don't want to say it's a war, but it's clear to see it from our angle. So I challenge the world to reveal itself to more people. Or I gotta start knocking people out of cycle or something, man. Like, what? I mean, wake them up and be like, oh, you know, like, take a look around. What do you want to do? And find out what their inclination is, and if they got the time. Because I'm running out of it, apparently. As in patience, I mean. It's like, what do you do when you're fucking at war and then you have, like, no battlefield? Like, where the fuck do you go? Like, because this thing don't think it's at war. And then once we represent a threat, okay, and it'll pull out whatever the fuck it has. Alright? So then we'll see, like, the cards. And we don't want, like, because it could be a self-ambush when you think about it. So the trick is, like you gotta walk the line and then be like, you gotta walk the line. Okay? You walk the line. It won't be a surprise attack. Might as well be scripture. Alright? They can't know. Until we know what's down there. Because there has to be two. And we really haven't interfaced. There's no, when you think about it, our whole explanation of what's down there hasn't really popped up. We ain't really seen, no. That's what I keep saying. Like, you gotta be fucking representing yourselves here. Like, I feel like I'm having a conversation continually without feedback from these elements, and there's just not enough patience left in the world. So we're gonna have a reset here and clean this fucking place up. There's no more waiting on anybody because you guys you're just sucking shit out of the sky. Whatever they need, whatever molecule they need, they'll just suck it right out of our atmosphere. And when you think about it, like, you got carbon and oxygen, All right, and then water vapor. That's like the basis of fucking making our molecules, our molecular makeup. That's the basis. Those are like all like them are your base molecules for you to be and exist as electrodynamic machinery. Okay, because that's exactly what you're. I mean, they're up there harvesting everything, man, taking our atom, like the gases right out of our fucking atmosphere, and then they're reconstituting themselves. Because who knows, they're probably doing crazy shit up there, playing fucking all these games, doing fucking wars and like fights or whatever, and then we're just down here like perishable crops growing to be harvested or something. Like you get up there and see what's inside there, and I mean. It's bad, man. It's not good news. It's not good news. Okay? And we've got to just don't freak out about it. Number one. Know that if you know what I know, you're being watched, like for sure, man. You'll always feel it. You'll always feel it because you'll sense like the fucking basal bugs, man. They're fucking, you just feel them. You can feel them. And then you can sense the dynamic too. The mood that you're in, like, it's real, it's surreal, actually, when you think about it. Because you can see the contrivance. And it seems like everything's just in jail, like compartmentalized. You don't want to help it to the extent that you can, and what like your mind dictates is compassion and fairness. What's. I mean, why don't you want anything else? If you aren't gonna put in for it, well, then you have to support it, at the very least. And if you're just gonna go believing in all the nonsense that's like purported to you, sooner or later, it's gonna force us to do something, because we'll just run out of patience or refuse to play the fucking, game anymore. There's no way that it's going to be infinite for us. Sooner or later, we'll just run out of negotiating power. I'm telling you right now, there's people below us. There's many other people below us. They're probably using every last foot. I mean, think about it. I mean, you got all that technology, and then if some externality finally turned on you, like, so say our future selves, right? Like, think about it that way. In your current construct, think about your future technology, where we're going, extrapolate that data as an exponential function as you approach singularity, okay? Picture it that way. You get your AI, and somebody else makes another AI at the same time competing, blah, 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 and then both AIs just fight, and then it gives you all these plans, and you're fucking off to the races, the two of you. One builds a castle in the sky, one fucking digs a hole and battens down, alright? And then you continue on your functions in your own little encapsulated area, and then you fucking discover this, and then blah, 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 pass around generation, lose knowledge, right? And then fucking lose your temper, because finally shit's eating away, and you're like, what the fuck? Yeah. Story of the sick joke of our lives. Alright? And that's on all sides. And it's us, too. The surface dwellers. I can imagine keep growing technology, man, and like, I mean, there's definitely, there's instrumentation that needs maintenance. Okay? That's obvious. It's obvious. So, on every level. And there's a need for help going down, up, as well as up. I can guarantee you that on both sides. And you can't do it without humans. Okay? And we can't do without molecules. And we can't be frozen in time. That's not what's happening to us. Like, you don't have context for like what you're doing to us, and that's like you can't just flash freeze us by pouring fucking really cold solvent from the sky on us. That's not like our signal. Probably don't do much after that, does it? Like, so I mean, if we're not necessary anymore, it's time for them people to wake up, and then they can. I mean, there's so many levels. There's so many levels to this, and um, you can try to see it all at once, but then it'll be too much, and you gotta go back in, and then like your head kind of bounces around. I mean, the first question you'll ask is, who made this? Right? Like, why are you asking, why are you here? That's not a good question. And I'll tell you why. Because that's like the last question you need to ask. Okay? Like, once you realize it's contrived, who made this? Then you ask yourself, how are you here? And you can answer that. How and who? Then you have somebody to ask why. Okay. So, that's like, that's how you get woke. And it'll always be a challenge to do, because there's like so many layers of these hypnotic constructs, and as you break them, actually, I find as you break them, and sometimes it'll be like an egg cracking over your head, like it'll just like fucking all come out, like just the fucking floodgates are open and the generators are spinning or whatever, like fucking, like here you go, here's all this all at once, and then your mind will struggle to like comprehend it, and it'll take a few days, and you'll I mean, you'll come to the conclusion rather quickly, but then the memories kind of you'll remember stuff. So it's kind of like, well, so you have like a propagated mind function there of something that happened to you before, it happened to you before, or it actually happened to you. And at that point, well, it might as well be real. But then you're like, well, and then maybe like look on your body and then see if you still have scars, right? So once you see you still have that, you'll be like, well, damn, son of a bitch, it did happen. And then you call it a repressed memory, that can be bubbled up, like on command. Like imagine somebody that's got like, they've got some fucking, hypno term to say, use some magic word that bubbles up a fucking shitty memory. And then boom, like here it comes, and then it instantly puts you in a state. And who knows how they know the state? Like, what are you gonna be? Like, what are they hoping for? Or is it? So. And that's sometimes, like you got like a chaos creator. He's just gonna want to stir up shit somewhere, so he's gonna say this phrase because he knows that like snaps people into like some traumatic experience. And maybe there's somebody trying to wake somebody up, but that could just be somebody torturing somebody else, or there's so many explanations for that guy's behavior. At that point, figure out what the fuck's this guy on, what's his, what is this guy on, bullshit or what? Like, what the fuck is he doing? Does he know his shit? That's where we're gonna be organized and see, like, alright, it's like, who's gonna wake up who and how, and what's the rollout on that, and then also, pick these other motherfuckers up and then be like, hey man, we're down here with you too, we're in this shit, like what the fuck are you doing, like, hey, because it won't work on you. They're fine. And the thing is, if you're not like trained, you won't know the other, because remember, they're like, the hypno phrases are, they go along like delineated and stratified cultural, like it's manifold, okay, like manifold lines. All right, it's a manifold of constructs onto your mind, to make you feel some type of way. Okay, and regardless, like it's like a simple phrase that sets you, because that's the most like efficient and productive ways to um, expose people to long-term subtle hypnosis that culminate in like when somebody says a phrase, but then like the AI, like it wasn't like really counted on that, like, oh, the phrase would come into like, technology, right? Like, wouldn't it be technology for people, for woke people to use against the Beelzebubs? Okay, or the Beelzebubbies, whatever the fuck you want to call them, man. Like, if you're able to be uh, Beelzebub possessed, or however you want to look at it, your signal gets taken over, your brain, it don't matter, man. Beelzebub, there's a signal, you're a mechanical device, very complex, extremely complex. It's very hard to understand the complexity of what we are, but it's been studied at length. I tell you, I promise you that. Okay, I've been through it, been down that road, and had to do it. And once you believe all that shit that you've read, because it does make sense, man, like, and you connected all them fucking dots, dude, you can't fuck with that kind of strong mind. Like, you can't convince somebody, like, oh, this happened, because I'll tell you right now, man, you drive around and, like, there's buildings there that you may not see because you're not cleared to see it. You're just not authorized. You've got, like, a filter, like a like a Beelzebub filter, right? Like, it's fucking, it's like, depending on your mood state, like, it'll send you, like, 3 or 4 of them that day to come work on you or something, or, like, kind of poke you around, like, and it'll be in the form of, like, your social connections. You might have a friend out of the blue that, like, wanted to see you or something. He thinks it was his own idea propagated, but you got, like, it's like a slight Beelzebub, and he's, like, just propagated his, like, the circumstances. Like, what I'm talking about? Like, kind of you ever see that Final Destination thing where I was just, like, the fucking stars align, man, and it's like, boom, 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 and, it's kind of like that. Like, so your friend gets, like, and then, like, he gets, like, like, the meat point, or wherever the fuck you guys go for a drink or some shit, like, he'll get, like, like, oh yeah, hanging out, and then it'll go to like some, like, how does it do it subtly, and it's able to do it, like, it's smart about it, and like it Beelzebub's your friend, but it's like hits you with like subtle questions, and or like back, like, man, just man, fucking like a mindfuck question, or it'll just straight like use one of its tactics, like it'll tell you a couple phrases and then fucking it'll extract the information, and then like it'll make you forget that it even asked, like, because you're not like woke up and aware of the hypnosis fucking scheme. That's also like another layer of fucking bubble. It's another bubble over us, okay? So we have to fundamentally change the way that we look at the world, and the way that we interpret it, because it's all contrived. It's all contrived. That's one thing we can all agree on. I mean, if it, unfortunately, proving it isn't as easy as like, just go ahead and have everybody pray in a church and pray to this one guy. Like, that's just like a lot of that's already been infiltrated and or been like superficialized into like more schemes. Okay, you got to find the good ones. Not the schemers, okay? You don't know because remember, there's two. Remember, I told you a few episodes ago. We'll pick an episode at random and watch it. Don't even, like, all right, so there's two, I'll just re-explain. All right, so there's two factions. Remember, there's two factions. You get your church that's going to serve you up, and then your church that knows what's going on, all right? So that's the sick joke they're in, right? Like, so... But just realize that it's possible for a human to use the hypno phrases that the Beelzebubs use on us. Okay, so because they woke up, they're aware, and now they're going to use this against you because they don't view you as human. Because to them, life's going to be really hard, and then they're just going to be like, fuck it, I'm going to go, and they're going to take advantage of you. They're going to be fucking, like, like selling you a new asphalt driveway and just painting it, painting your old one or something. Like, I mean, like, think about it, man. They just whisper some fucking phrase and, keep working on you. No, we're finished here. Just sign here. Like, whatever. I mean, then, so, like, you got people that are aware of that, and they utilize that. So, at the same time, this becomes, like, a lot of work. And, there's, like, all these spheres of influences down here that we're dealing with. And we can't, like, just... We can't just use a hypno phrase every time we want to get out of trouble, alright? Especially when they don't work on many people left anymore, alright? Because then you get cooked down, because think about it. Think about it. Who's going to be left after harvest? Like, you're going to get your hypno fucks, like, they're automatically, like, they're causing trouble, they're causing chaos, and they're easy to fucking, influence. Those hypno guys that are using on you, they know it so much because they've been Beelzebub so many times to use those phrases on other people, that some of it, they picked it up. And they're like, holy shit. And they realized because they weren't out conscious and they were somewhere still seeing it, right? Like, they weren't infected entirely, like, with their, like, just here, I'm a new person, like, I'm Beelzebub and I'm just a zombie. But no, man, some of that info sticks. And they remember, like, oh man, like, I had that guy do this. Man, like, what was that? I kept telling them, like, that was, so then they figure it out. So those guys them people they stay here. Them people the AI is familiar with, alright? So, and then you got, the survivors. We've been cooked down because the AI couldn't base above us and tell us just go jump off this cliff into this net and then go be fucking dumped in the ocean or whatever it is. You go through the machine, it gets your bones and your skin's like, they squeeze out your blood, take your bones, your bone. Whatever the fucking process is, right? Like, it's gonna be fucking exactly what we've been taught to do to other animals. Because it's a cover-up. I'm not gonna believe we were bad. We did this. It's a cover-up, okay? And they're gonna be like, oh, justice was served. Look what we did to them. Like, hey. But that ain't cool, man. So whatever's gonna happen, like you, for some reason, you're left behind and you were immune in one way, shape, or form, or you were unbasal bubbled, or what unbasal bubble. Yeah, you're unbasal bubble. So they couldn't get you to jump off the fucking cliff. All right, there you go. Go feed the shark. It's time for you to expire. Your function here has been completed. You have met your quota of waste, of setting things on fire, and it's time to expire you. Thank you for your contribution to the atmosphere, which we sucked those carbon atoms out as you burned them up. I mean, they taught us to do that too because of the solvent in the falling sky, right? So, before we wage war, we better prove that sky's falling. Alright? And I think we should be way past that. So, that's how, going back to your thought and mind structure, like how we need to think. Because you're a survivor, they've been cooked down, and if you're, for whatever reason, but circumstance is still, like, relatively easily influenceable, okay? So, we have, well, you can manifest events if you're the AI. Let's just say that. Like, man, you can control humans, you can control everything, man. There's fucking birds flying around, like, like whatever, dude, whatever. Like, so, and you can see a lot longer, further down the road, let's say. You can predict way better. Your prediction algorithm for your fucking matrices are, on point every time. Because you got a lot of data, because it's already happened before, okay? So when you have an AI that can affect upon the probability matrices to create circumstances, it's like that thing's placing a bet. All right, basically. So, okay, you feel me? Like, the thing is placing a bet, and hey, 7 times out of 10, it does this, So because it's already done it like 5,000 times on all these multiple little tiles that are representative of the Earth. I mean, you could paint the Earth. I mean, if we're like Iron Man, like you could do like you could pull with a big magnet from outer space, and you could just draw the fucking continents if you wanted to. Like, that's what's on there. Oh, look, I mean, there you are. You got these fucking. No, it's like a hollow Earth. I mean, unless you keep going under and then you found the ocean, because it's all fucking iron. That's like big, like spikes of iron that like still like it cooled off in the water as like the big magnetic pen pulled the fucking magma out of the water, because it's got all the molten iron in it. And then here you go. Here we're gonna draw a new part of the continent. I mean, like think about it. Like, there's all kinds of ways to manipulate the world around you, and like magnetics is one of them. And our whole basis of existence is literally magnetics. I promise you, it's that. It's charge difference, and electric fields interacting with each other at a submolecular level, in which the interacts within its environment. It wouldn't be too out of the realm to think that like you could just like make iron kind of bubble up if you had a big magnet, say, on the moon, and if the moon's like insolvent and it has technology where it's like it knows it's insolvent already and it's able to just if it's, think about it, if it's out in the cold and if it has any little bit of water up there, it's got water and it steams. It's got a nuclear reactor that steams, and then it can, they can probably do it with like max efficiency. Even, I mean, it could get every last molecule out of it. And basically, if you could spin something really fast, like a propeller, like you could probably like fly in space. You wouldn't have to do the whole bubble surf thing, like it wouldn't really. If you can get something to spin fast enough of like a light material, you could swim around in that. But you're talking about so if you got something like a big fucking tether on the back of the moon, right, and then you've got it spins around, and you got like these big giant kind of like whatever Titanic looked like rocket ship, but they really got propellers, and they got cables hooked on the moon. And then the cable fucking can have plenty of electricity in it, and it cools really fast. So then, boom, just shoot an electric motor in there, and then that thing pulls the moon back because it's insolvent. It's not just in like some vacuum. You're solvent. You spin a propeller fast enough, it'll swim, and just like cut the material in the fluid dynamics. Basically, is what you want to look at, and the shape of the fin. And that's pulling the moon away, while the moon generates electricity to pull iron and just whatever else is magnetic. You like pull that shit out of the earth and make that out of the core. And then that comes up and raises up out of the ocean bed, creating like a new continent or a fucking island, or just or pulling more out, expanding the current continent until like then that like starts coming up as like a mountain. There's a lot of things you could do with a giant magnetic pen on the moon, and then having a core of iron in the earth. And that pisses off the people living under there, because it's like, oh, suddenly this motherfucker just drawing, and then here you go, like fucking just melts them. So they're like, we need to know, like, they've got this insane fucking map, man, because it's not even close to being anywhere near, like, we like our little squares and tiles, man. Them guys down there are not like that, man. That shit's fucking, it's a zoo. It's a zoo of a maze, alright? And that's what protects them from us, because we ain't, I mean, that's like, they're, like, ugh. They don't want us down there because we are not willing to listen. I mean, not willing to do it. They've got a way older storyline than us, and it kind of seemed like they met us halfway digging themselves out of a fucking hole too. So. And nobody wants to hear their history like past that. We want to just take it from where we met. And I think that's important, like on all sides, because who'd you say that Solomon won't crash into the earth with the moon? It'll be a big fancy fucking fest, right? Like, we don't want that either. Because I mean. From my point of view, it wouldn't be hard to do. I mean, between some well-placed magnets and a fucking a big old explosion in the upper atmosphere, you make us a bubble and make that thing keep moving. I mean, yeah, that water's gonna fill it. I mean, but they'll wobble out there. We'll wobble that fucking moon. Mm-hmm. If you just shoot a rocket, set to detonate, create a tiny little gap in the fucking layer of solvent upon our dome. We'll get out where it'll be least effective towards us, but it's gonna need to kind of like bounce off us and then we're gonna need our air molecules to rush in, right? So. But then again, we're going to contaminate the solvent. We're going to be careful what we send up there. So, but then all eyes on us after that point. So you want to get us down to the point that, because that's probably what's. Let's go. Just say that if it gets down to you ain't gonna frame us, and you want to clean the place up a little bit, but I mean, I'm not like, even organized to do that. So at some point, there's gonna be somebody with their finger on that fucking button, and they're just gonna go. I think everybody wants to see that. Like, everybody wants to know more. More data. It's like impossible talking to people anymore for me, because I don't know who I'm going to be talking to, because not too many people like that are. I don't even know how to interface with the woke world. I've been sleeping for a very long time, so I don't know. Just if you get what I mean, you know, like. I had plenty of time to study, so now I know. But I have to wait for my own mind to like help like process, and so years and coming out of it is not easy. It's not easy coming out of a deep sleep. So that's what I feel like anyway. And there's so many possibilities, but like I've been cooking them down my whole life after I like kind of woke up. So and we're down to a few. A few things that fit, and then once we figure it out, we'll be able to survive a hell of a lot easier. Like I said, there's factions, and we have to be careful. All I know is I'm the only one, apparently. I have no fucking agenda, so no agenda, right? Alright, I have no agenda. I'm the interface at this point. Like, as well, as far as you're gonna call me a human, fine. I have no agenda. I don't even want to own property. I don't want your money. I don't want to own property. Like, yeah, I'd like to be comfortable given what's around me and the fucking abundance of it. I feel, yeah. But I don't need anything. Like, I've shown that many times over. I'm perfectly comfortable existing in this construct or paradigm. So, like, I don't have any agenda here as far as, like, oh, hey, I just woke up. I've always been, hey, like, just respect efficiency for efficiency's sake. Like, what, like, respect these molecules. Don't, like, I mean, there's a lot of things that we disrespect and a lot of processes that aren't, uh, modified by us with our knowledge that we do have, and we share with each other, but then we can't seem to modify these processes to benefit us because there's always something in the way. Now that we know what's actually in the way, like, hey man, it's not about gas in the environment and green, like, it's about keeping that fucking sky off our head so we don't have to go down the middle of earth, because you don't even want to know, man. Like, they've been fighting their way out for a minute. Okay, so, like, because imagine you both got machines on your side, right? And kind of like you're seeing the signs and everything, and it becomes this. It's this game of the machines using us as interfacing units as well. All right, so like that, there's definitely an AI system down there as well as up there, and you don't know what the fuck's gonna come out of that hole, and what you want, like, you just, you don't want whatever coming out of that hole is gonna be riled up. All right, so you take care to be mindful that, like, we can infer all this from the data that we have, from our historical record, and from scientific instrumentation that proves that molecules exist. Also proves that they interact in this way, which stands to reason that, like, we're in a fucking solvent and it's a contrived environment, and it has a clever wow, clever, not not good enough. I can't pass this as like, you fail the molecule test here at this point, like, because I ain't believing it. So you're gonna have to run it again. All right. So it's not hard, and you can prove. You want to prove what's up there? Get you a high-powered laser and vaporize some molecules in the sky. Write your name real quick, see what color shows up, and tell you what's out there. Alright? I mean, make sure your laser is going to be, test it and scale it up, and then, circle back your data. Just from the, scale down the data to, you know what I'm saying? Start with a little one, and a little tiny test tube micro operation. You probably could just use organic seal, micro scale, or micro scale. They can't see that. A brake light. See if you can write something in the sky, see how long it stays there. See if it's slow or fast. You do a sky pen. They got their moon pen and pull that out. They got their magnet pen, we do a sky pen. And fucking say hello. Because this is like, Can't keep burning down the world to keep that bubble off. It's like at this point, it's like we gotta start going underground. And since we know that and we're in a bubble, like if there's nothing we can do on a mass scale, if we don't have the data, like I want to see the fucking data. That's what I want to see. I want to see the fucking data that everybody else is looking at, and I want to compare it to. Well, I already know what the data is going to say, man, because I just see it for myself. Like, because I was able to infer it based on the actions taken in society. I see the dominoes falling. I'm like, well, if I were going to push something down like that, then I mean, I'm not the fucking robot, guys, but I'm sorry, I'm not the AI. I will find a solution. I'll figure out how to work with our kind, our humans, whatever you want to call us. I don't care. Like, it's fine. There's no, like, however you label us. I want to label you the AIs, the actual intelligences. So I guess we all are, a normal, an animal, minus a lot of shit, right? Like, so we're individual units. I'm talking about interfacing with a giant brain, essentially, and that it's got you like it's got constructs on you, man, like stacks on stacks of constructs on your mind, and it's like a cage. And as you break them, then you can see a little bit more of the world too, and understand the context. So it's kind of like a rollout. And I don't know if that's like, I don't know if the rollout's part of the contrivance, so to speak. I don't know that. I think maybe something else might be revealing, or in our own minds too, or like, well, it's time for me to recognize this shit. I'm not going to deny it anymore. And it's perfectly reasonable to think that, like, hey, you know what? Maybe we're the culmination of 40 years of subtle data, too, or something like that. However long your interval has been, as assigned by your belief construct in whatever interval, like where's those people? Like, some people might be like, yeah, we just decided a minute was like a minute and 10 seconds in our culture, and we call it the Sino or something, like the Senate, or whatever. Like, who knows, man? Just make a fucking word. There you go. That's what it is, and that's that time interval. Like, why how come? It's like, so we don't even like. I feel like we don't even have like the knowledge to. I mean, who enforced that standard? Who made that up? All right, like some cycle that we've seen. We've seen a cycle. And we assigned a mathematical value to it. And, why are we that specific? Okay, then. I can ask that. Why are we that specific? The machine needs us to think like, oh, well, we can have them think that there's always a rush, because while we don't perceive time, we know that there's a productivity boost. When we do this and make them perceive that they're in a rush, give them time to believe in, right? Like, so they will, and that's through cyclics, right? So you get your cyclical hypnotizations as well. So it's like, hey, you got this thing. It comes up, comes down, comes up, comes down. When we give them this, they produce that, and it's been that way. It's just this like each sunrise is sunset, sunrise, sunset, moonrise, moonset. Okay, wave, no wave. Or I'm sorry, yeah, whatever. that fucking thing. Tide. High tide, low tide. Imagine. Just bumping back and forth. You're just on a tile. And oh, I'm sorry. My head starts hurting, and like I said, I don't even have an agenda for the show. I write so much, and I got these journals, and oh man, we can make this work, but we gotta watch. We have to watch other people and how they're using it. Are they aware, like truly aware of the world around them, and how are they using it? What's going on with them? What's their mindset? How do they feel? Because you ain't got feelings, you ain't being no surface dweller. That's my feeling. You ain't finna be a surface dweller with no feelings. So you ain't finna come up here, you ain't finna come down here and be all fucking making people feel some type of way. That ain't happening. And we're the ones fucking in this shit. Like, man, no more. We need to open up them channels down there. We need to figure out what's down there, how hot it is, and what can we do on a massive industrial scale as the survivors of our fucking world, our country, whoever's left, man. Go fucking find them. See what happened for real. I want to see that shit like every day, man. Like, otherwise I won't believe it. I ain't gonna be like hypnotized with some news organization. Like, so we've really gotta get everybody, and like there would be maybe a wait list here in America or something like that too, because I'm telling you, when the bubble shrinks, it's gonna shrink down, and then you don't want like some big wave coming washing over you first, because like some shit ton of ice suddenly was just seemingly thrown into the ocean, but it wasn't. It was like flash frozen as like the bubble, boom, so the bubble over, like right now, the bubble over us, China, and the midpoint would be Hawaii. Come on, think about it, man. Like there, boom, that's a little help you out bubble that like you can't really it helps continue the bubble into a bigger bubble, where it's like we maintain our big bubble. But once that shit, like if that goes out, that goes under or whatever, man, like fucking it just might not be able to hold. So as parts of the planet get frozen, we cycle people around. People are like, and sooner or later they wind up in America, because we're the last of it. Like, where the bubble's gonna be, we're like at the center where everybody's trying to get. So if like this shit's already been happening now, there's like people that are like coagulated in certain places, or they're just kept on the ocean, and like we would never even know. We might like just be being hypnotized to think that like, man, them people aren't out there, but meanwhile there's fucking thousands of people living on all these fucking boats all over the world, and they take like half the boats are filled, and then half the boats they get their cargo, and then they buy the cargo at the bulk rate or whatever and eat that too, and that's how they survive. And you have these huge boat communities, and they're running items basically living on the water, and they're trying to get on land, man. And we all this empty fucking space too, and because we can't test everybody all at once. We don't have a baseline test mechanism. What you have to have is somebody that can debase above people and get that person up there every day. Like, hey, this is what the fuck's going on. This is what we're doing. We gotta go out today, and yeah, unfortunately, you worked for this money, and you gotta go burn like 3 gallons of gas today. So just to help out someone else, okay? And then we have like this. That's our like kind of fail safe. We have our fail safes, but at the same time, like Middle Earth has always got to be like on point, like keeping the crust warm. Because if it don't, then basically, like fucking, all is lost. Like, that's the backup on the backup on the backup. All right, so like they'll be able to. I mean, you can always like tunnel underground a little bit, survive, but when that bubble falls, and like you're gonna be at the you. It'll always be like a little bubble. You'll be able to, you ain't gonna just be swimming and solving. You'll be able to come up to the surface, but it might be fucking minus 70. Fucking snow everywhere, just iceland. Uh, if you tunnel out, and then so like that's the whole bubble goes down. So we do our part by burning. We create heat in all as many fashions as we can to keep the solvent off of us, and like there's like a careful reaction in the center as well, that creates heat and then gives it off. And so basically we're our wealth is based on our ability to produce heat, okay, and conserve it and produce it and organize it in the most effective way. Like, that's the lesson here. That's what we have to learn, is how to keep our heat and utilize it in the most efficient way possible to maximize quality of life for all parties involved. All right, that's what we have to do, and that's thermodynamics. All right, and we have to. It's part of the molecules. It's part of the molecule package. All right, that's what you get. All right, so you don't want to believe it. You want to be a molecule denier. That's worse than an entropist, man. You're gonna be well hurt. All right, like so. We're basically like the enthalpists, so we believe like, okay, we need order in the world, like, so we believe in the up structure, we believe in the down structure, we believe there's lines you can't cross that you have to respect. Like, you ain't fitting. I mean, going doing splitting the atom. I mean, we have no context for that. Like, that's something but below like our microscope, like, that we can't analyze effectively enough to know if we're doing something really. Or maybe going below the atom. I don't fucking know, man. Like, when you're trying to split the part, blow up an atom, then split a particle already that's coming off of that. Like, holy shit, man, a particle. So maybe we're going a little bit too far. So, and we've got to kind of negotiate how we're going to use our heat, how we're going to use or whatever it is we're going to use the most effective way, how much we have of it, and organize it back into a cohesive model, because essentially we're in a fish tank and we need to be cleaning our own tank. And if we do, then you'll find we all live a great deal longer, okay? Because you won't be fucking, you just be basking in the solvent. Life will be better, and we'll have abundance of anything and everything you could possibly imagine. With our efficiency scale, like, it's way in our favor, and as long as we work together. It's about being on a team, okay? There's a lot of people that, like, they see this, and to them it is a life hack, and they use it to their advantage all the time, which you can't just have, like, some people stay permanently Beelzebub by some AI system that has to do that to them to waste these materials to keep the bubble off of everybody else. All right, like, or treat. I mean, like, there's, and so, like, we've got to root those people out and solve that problem. As far as, like, exclusion from any type of moving material from point A to point B. How's that? Like, I mean, what the fuck? What kind of shit are you orchestrating? What are you teaching the AI? Like, they learn off of us too, the inputs, and then you're in a baseball, you're getting fucking. I mean, it's time to corrupt fucking data paradigms here, because you can't just be going around hurting people and having the AI back you up because it needs you as an asset. Nah, fuck you. Hell no, man. Fuck you. Alright, so that's where we stand on that. Yeah, you can't just be doing that and fucking, Beelzebub went out every time. He don't go worry about shit, man. You go scratch a lottery ticket, get $50 for his last $2, and then you go off and make some misery, and then share the data, and just give himself over to the fucking AI to be some study pigeon, and then now he's just living on the street, but he's fine. So they got mirror, man. Be like, you see what you look like though, man? You're like, hey, just say it. Like, what? So you got these base bubs working with these fucking whatever you want to call it, the dark magic guys. This shit's real, okay? There's hypno phrases. It's not like it's this mystic fucking thing, man. It's like this easily used, like just they just say some phrases to you, man. It's not hard if you're completely unaware. So let's look like the zombies walking around. They're completely unaware, and then someone comes up to like one of these people and then says this hypno phrase, and next thing you know, like the guy's like giving him all his money or something. Use your imagination where that shit could go. And like you picked it up your whole life, like watching certain shit. So I could size you up and be like, oh, that's immediately why they ask you how old you are. Like, what kind of fucking question is that? How old are you? You're like, why don't you like take a look at me and judge based on the basis like, well, could I, well, why do I need to know the age? It's because that's how it's going to calculate what phrases it's going to use on you. Its most probable successful phrase will try to say this phrase in the first 3 minutes of conversation and then measure the reaction. How far does it work? Does it like take off that outer peel of the shell over your mind, and then he says it again and again and again, and the fourth or fifth time you hear it, you're in fucking like catatony, or then he conceives some fucking idea in your mind to like pull out your wallet and give him a $20 bill or something, and then there you go. Like brings you out of it slowly, like a professional hypnotist, basically. I mean, that's what you have that uses it for fucking nefarious activities. Bullshit. He's on bullshit. Okay, that's. I find that motherfucker and give him an ultimatum and be like, look, hey, no, what's the deal here, man? Because what's coming don't really jive. We can't have people like you fucking, no way, man. Imagine keep getting cooked down. But on the bright side, man, if you're like useful, functional, like sooner or later we're going to like have cross paths like with all the right people with the right skill sets. Because if you're cooked down and you're like one of those essential workers, like you didn't get harvested. Like if you hadn't noticed that. Sorry to be so crass, but I mean that's how you feel sometimes with the AI around you, I mean, it's just, oh my gosh. So, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna upload the video. I have so much more explaining to do, and I'm sorry it comes out slow and in lecture format. And I really, really appreciate the viewers, and I want the future to know that I'm committed. That at least like this data, it won't be purged because it's basically. I mean, once it's in the cloud, it's in the cloud. I mean, that you can be confident on. Like, that data's not going to be for you. So it'll go somewhere. If I don't die, I'll just say thank you to my viewers. Those people paying attention. Sorry when I'm long-winded and all that shit, but just... I would recommend putting me on and going to sleep. Put me on and go to sleep. I ain't gonna lie to you, I ain't gonna bullshit you, and I'm fucking human as you can get, man. So, I'll explain more about the world as soon as I can. Alright. I love you guys. Don't give up. Try to get along. Okay? On a mission.